Hey everyone, it's Kong again with another once per season PvP video. Kong vs Maincord. I like to post these videos where I just happen to match in against people from the Discord servers or Reddit or wherever. I mostly just find it fun to go over these Apex Arena videos with people that I know from the community. Now, as I mentioned in another video, I have been making an effort to play a lot more Apex Arena this season, just because usually I find it hard to set aside the time on the weekends for PvP because I'm too busy doing other things. I have managed to get a lot more games under my belt this season, but that doesn't necessarily mean I've dramatically improved in terms of PvP skills. When I sat down to record this video, I had 5 matches in mind that I knew I wanted to show, but unfortunately, because I've been playing so much more, some of the earlier matches have gone out of my battle report. So, there was one against Meow Sensei, who is actually my guild leader on my freebie alt account, and I had a great match with them where I let them get, against my better instincts, Arian Rod and Angelica in the same team, and they pulled off some interesting strategies that I still managed to come back and win, mostly because my infantry Yulia surprised them in terms of matchups. I wish I had that match still to show you. The other match that I've lost due to age is one early in the season where I actually randomly loaded in against my brother Tristan, and he destroyed me, so maybe it's for the best that I don't have that video to show. So the first match I have to show is versus MatthewMc, Jill is Home on Discord. Presumably referring to the arrival of Jill in Fire Emblem Heroes, which I also saved up like 1,000 or 2,000 orbs for. Sadly not playing that game anymore, but I did summon her first before I quit. So this is an interesting match because he has a fairly magic heavy box that I don't usually do very well against. I noticed he only had the 2 real main healers, so I banned them both early. So he brings in his kind of overall backup off healer there in Deedlit. He picks up Elwyn here, so I'm going to go ahead and use my anti-Elwyn tank. Now I'm finding myself running into a little bit of a predicament because he has Luna, who has very strong magic defense, and all my DPS here are magical based. So then we each get the last pick Leaden. I'm fairly confident in the ability of my Landius here to tank most of his threats, at least at the outset. I don't think he's really planning on crashing his Luna directly into my tanks, and I am expecting his Elwyn to make a charge in here. Nice breeze on my tiny Jessica there. So he splashes Jugler right away. Now this is an interesting bait, because I can't resist taking a shot at his Jugler with my Yulia. That's really what Yulia's in here for. But you'll remember that my Leaden actually isn't guarding yet, because I didn't bring Divine Guard. I have his 3C skill, which opens Yulia up for the classic crippling Elwyn charge. He can disable her healing. So even if she revives, she can't get her health back. So he goes ahead and takes that opportunity. Now, I make a mistake here. And this is an annoying mistake, which I made Far too many times in my matches for the first couple of weeks of this season, Jugler was close enough to Elwyn that I could have taken that opportunity to kill Elwyn and he wouldn't have been able to revive because he was close to one of his allies. And Elwyn and Jugler had already moved, so I could have taken my time and taken them out in whatever order I wanted. I could have killed Elwyn, taken his revive away, and then dealt with Jugler later, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to thinking of Tiny Jessica as my Jugler killer, I went for Jugler first, and now Elwyn can revive again. Fortunately, I make it up to myself by pulling this little sneaky play with Leaden. I use his Kidnapper skill to pull Elwyn back up within range of Luna, which lets me kill him without the revive going off. Any kind of skill like that, where you can deal with the positioning of your opponents or their tank's ability to tank, I really appreciate. It's one of the reasons I love running Tiny Jessica with multiple tanks, because you just have so many options. Almost Leaden. I left Deedlet at 800 hit points there. So Leaden was able to take out their Luna, which was my main concern at that point, Leaden being a physical attacker of sorts. I don't mind having Yulia in the mix here because I'm being fairly well guarded, and they don't have any AoEs or anything dangerous that can take her out right now. So after surviving a few dicey hits there, Leaden finally goes down, but I do still have enough gas in the tank to get rid of his Leaden. And then that is just about it. Surprisingly good damage from the Sage of the Trees there. So excellent match, Matthew. Thanks for that great battle. Your Luna had me worried, but yeah, it ended up being a good one. So thanks for that fight. Okay, the next battle I have lined up for you is versus Kavinh H, who is, I believe, Kavinh H on Discord as well. Now, immediately loading into this battle, I know I'm in for an absolute train wreck of a fight. This box is just... what a nightmare. For my team, or for my brain, I guess. I just have no even conception of how to deal with this. So we have Ren, who's a annoying displacement AoE character, Farakia, who I never run into, so I'm not really sure what kind of synergy she's bringing with this box. Angelina, who's annoying with her mass displace, Estelle, and Akka for, rush enablement. Egbert, who I always underestimate, but now with his 3C skill can be one of those really interesting pivot playmakers. Reen and Clotaire, always annoying. So, not really sure what's going on here. I don't even have the first idea of how to begin approaching pick ban for this. So we're just going to muddle through it. I really should have banned Akka first, but I went with Estelle instead. They kind of do something similar, but Akka, I think, is a little bit more dangerous with this box. And sure enough, she's the first pick. Then I went ahead and banned Reen and Jugler just to make sure. I don't think that Kavinh was planning on running tanks anyway, but Jugler can be fairly annoying with his splash as a rush DPS as well. So he goes with second pick Sage. Really, that would have been a good opportunity. I could have probably left Farakia alone and banned Egbert at this point. Egbert goes in. And I don't mind facing either Liana or Elwyn just because I at least know what they do. So I do have two tanks. I do have Elwyn. I do have Zerida. I'm not in too bad shape, other than his team is really dynamic. So all I'm really concerned with right now is getting into position that I can survive an Angelina charge. I know it's coming. I know he's going to be able to hit enough of me with it to get his second attack off. So I'm trying to position in such a way that if we get pushed back, we're still being guarded. And here it comes. Hits 3 of us, pushes Ledin and Zerda back to Sophia, and Landius takes care of Elwyn. Now, this is my first mistake, well, second mistake after the entire ban pick phase, if you count that as one mistake. Even though Angelina has already acted, she's behind enemy lines, and I'm just too eager to get rid of her. I should have really healed Landius first, knowing that she can't do anything back here anymore. She can't move or attack for another turn. So I should have healed first and then dealt with her later. Unfortunately, that gave their Sage the opportunity to come in and area down my Landius' first life. And then I was going to come in and heal anyway, so it was just a little bit too late there. So he's in great shape right now. I try to regroup fairly desperately back here. But with Akka and a wolf, there's plenty of opportunity to get in deep against my team. And I think if I remember correctly, this is the fight where I have several near misses in terms of kills. So just devastating area up here, with Egbert's talent damage as well. And an act again just to pile it on even more. So loaded up everything off Ledin, and just barely missed a kill by, I think, almost 1,000 hit points on Egbert there. For whatever reason, I think I desperately just tried to get a kill on someone, and I left Leanna. How many hit points does she have after that Hellfire Archer proc? 2 hit points. Leanna survived that Zerda attack with 2 hit points. Ultimately, I don't think that killing her would have really helped me too much. Look what kind of shape I'm in. I have just Zerda and Ledin left with no hit points. And Elwyn, who's trapped by this terrain. So, for all intents and purposes, this is all over. The only reason I haven't resigned yet is because I just want to kind of play with Elwyn and see what he can do. And the answer to that question is not put a dent in Akka. So that's it for that one. So good game, Kavin. Thank you for utterly destroying me and waking me up to the danger of Egbert. Although, to be fair, your box is such a mess, and I mean that in a good way, that even if I was fully aware of what Egbert could do to my team, even if I banned him first, you have enough threats in there that you would have been able to take me apart with almost any combination of your units. So great match. Thank you for that one. Okay, and the last match I have for this video is against Knykx, who, if you'll notice from the avatar frame, is a member of Zlong Games' art squad. So they do some of that cool fan art that you'll often see posted on Reddit and Facebook. So they're getting rid of Hilda right away and playing Ares first pick. It looks like they have a bit of a rush box, a lot of long leg threats, some act-agains in here. So smart play to get rid of my anti-displacement character first. I can't stand facing Rosalia, so I ban her early. And I'm going to go ahead and try to play some legs as well to counter their Ares and Zerda positioning. Of course, I see they get Elwyn, so I bring out my Lancer tank, my remaining Lancer. And then my last remaining healer. So I don't think I have a bad team here, it's just going to be a matter of getting hemmed in. Yulia, of course, has short legs. She can do a number on most of the characters on their team, but being able to get in safely is going to be the tough part. This Ares is putting tons of pressure on me. I'm trying to stay clustered up in such a way that Ares can really only get in on a couple of my units and hopefully not kill Wheeler right at the start. Now, I had a breeze there, I had an opportunity on Deedlit, and I felt like I was getting closed in so bad I had to take that chance. Like, if one more turn went by, he was going to be able to dive his Ares in and really make a mess of my team, so I felt if I didn't go in there with Deedlit, I was never going to get another chance like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the kill, and I did lose Deedlit for nothing. Now, I do take this opportunity to jump in with Elwyn, knowing that his Elwyn is in the midst of all his team, so he won't be able to get his revive. Ultimately, that ends up being a trade. Now, this is the point where I think the tone of this battle changed. As I mentioned earlier, I was kind of desperate, and even moving Yulia in there was a little bit of a brazen move. I think that probably would have been the time for him to make a play with Ares, rather than being a little bit too cautious and backing off to get reset and repositioned here. I'm not sure if they were hoping to buy a turn to basically get Zerda reloaded, but this whole game I was feeling like as soon as that Ares goes to town, I'm kind of toast, so getting an extra turn without having to worry about that let me get my feet back under me a little bit. Enough to jump Yulia in and make a play to take out Leon, so Yulia's back at full health with a revive. Now this is an interesting move, turning Ares into cavalry because I have infantry Yulia. Now she's bulky enough that he wasn't able to secure the kill there, but that would have obviously been fairly devastating. So he's going for the 3C now. Which is going to take out my Wheeler. But now I have Desperate Prayer on my remaining two characters for certainly long enough. So I learned my lesson and left Ares alone and sent Yulia after the last remaining threat who hadn't acted yet, which is Zerda, so she's gone, and I'm feeling like I'm in pretty good shape here. I have two really good DPS type characters who also have Desperate Prayer on, and it looks like Knykx knows that. Sends Ares flying off into the Bermuda Triangle there, and that is the game. So that is one that could have gone either way, to be honest. Knykx and I talked about this match afterwards on Discord, and I said, that Ares really had me sweating. I think if you hadn't been so cautious, that would have been your game for sure, but it definitely was a close one and kind of came down to the wire. So thanks so much for that game. It was a good one. So that's all the matches I have for you for the Kong vs. Maincord series for this video. Hopefully there were some interesting matches in there, some interesting little plays, lots of Kong mistakes, but lots of things that I learned from. Like I said, I have been playing a lot of matches this season, or a lot more than I'm used to anyway, and I do feel like I'm improving, so I definitely want to reiterate a point that I made in a video I made a long time ago. which is, even if you're a beginner, even if you're a noob, even if you hate PvP, or if you think you suck at PvP, definitely at least dive in and get your 5 qualification matches done, because even if you get seeded into Bronze 3, which, if you have never played Apex before, you probably will, that's free weekly rewards. You're going to get some free junk just for losing 5 matches in a row, and you can use those to build your characters. But more importantly, I think, the more games you play and the more pick-ban phases you participate in, you start to get a better feel for your box, you can make tweaks, you learn from those mistakes and you do get better. So you'll be able to claw your way up to Silver, you'll be able to claw your way up to Gold 3. And then once you're in Gold 3, you can basically just play around and experiment and make mistakes, and there's no pressure anymore. So I definitely highly recommend just jumping into Apex, putting a box together, using mercenaries, put ban bait, unbuilt characters in your box, whatever it takes to just get in there and get experience. It's been really fun for me this season. So thanks to my opponents in this video, thanks again to my Langrisser tier channel members, Levitt, Derek Gunderson, and Kyle Greer-Brown, as well as all the gold tier members. If you're interested in joining the channel, go ahead and click that join button, there's some more details in there for you. So thanks for watching, thanks so much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next one. Happy Langrissing, everyone.